The worst Black Friday shopping experiences. I bought a gamepad for my son, but we have a different console. I bought a controller on Black Friday because my son kept complaining that he couldn't play with his old controller. The price was incredible, $40 instead of $100, and I thought it would be a great gift. But when I brought the controller home, my son said it didn't work with our gaming console. We tried to find adapters, tried to figure out how to do something, but in the end, we couldn't get it to work. Now this shiny new controller just sits in a drawer, and my son continues to play with his old, already beat-up controller. I bought a perpetual candle set on Black Friday, and now my house smells like a drugstore. I always dreamed of cozy evenings by candlelight, and on Black Friday, I bought a huge set of scented candles for $50 instead of $150. They promised the scent of relaxation and peace, but after lighting them, the house began to smell like a cross between a pharmacy and a hospital. My wife immediately began complaining of a headache, and the kids said the smell reminded them of a visit to the doctor. Now the whole set sits in a box on the top shelf, and my dreams of cozy romantic evenings evaporated along with the chemical smell. Giant teddy bear. I bought a giant teddy bear for my daughter on Black Friday for $100 instead of $300. I didn't take into account that there was simply no room for it in our small apartment. Now the bear takes up half the bedroom, and my daughter still prefers to sleep with a small bunny. Bought a gaming chair for $80 instead of $200, but it couldn't handle my weight. On Black Friday, I decided to treat myself to a gaming chair, which was on sale, $80 instead of $200. The very first day I sat in it, the chair creaked and skewed. After a few weeks, the wheels stopped rolling and the frame began to wobble. In the end, I had to replace it with a regular office chair, and the gaming chair went to the attic as a failed experiment, where I weighed too much. Bought a minibar for my bedroom for $50 instead of $150, but use it as a nightstand. On Black Friday, I saw a fancy minibar for $50 instead of $150. I imagined how I would enjoy drinks right from my bedroom, but when I installed it, I realized that it was completely inappropriate in size and style. Now this minibar simply serves as a bedside table, in which instead of drinks, books and chargers are stored. It's funny how my attempt to bring in chic turned out to be an ordinary cabinet. A fitness suit that ended up in the closet. I bought my wife a fitness suit on Black Friday, $80 instead of $200. I thought she would be happy and start doing sports at home, but my wife decided that it was a hint at her shape and got offended. The suit remained lying in the closet with the tag. I bought an electric toothbrush for my kids, but they are afraid of the noise. On Black Friday, I bought my kids electric toothbrushes for $30 instead of $80, hoping they would brush their teeth more. But the kids were scared by the noise, and now the brushes are sitting untouched. A home sauna that doesn't fit in the bathroom. Saw a deal on a compact home sauna for $500 instead of $1,000. Bought it, but when I installed it, it was too big for our bathroom. Now it sits in the garage, and I dream of the day I'll find a suitable place for it. The cooking machine that turned out to be too complicated. On Black Friday, I bought my wife a cooking machine for $200 instead of $600 to make it easier for her to cook. But the instructions were so complicated that after the first use, my wife said it was easier to cook the old way. The machine sits on the top shelf and reminds me of the money I wasted every time. The popcorn machine that crashed your insurance policy. Bought a $70 popcorn maker instead of $150 to host movie nights. The first time it was used, it splattered hot oil all over the kitchen and had to call a repairman to fix the hood, and the insurance company voided the policy due to careless use of the appliance. I bought reusable shopping bags, but forgot them at home. On Black Friday, I bought reusable bags for $10 instead of $30, thinking that I would always take them with me to the store. But every time I go shopping, I forget them at home. Now I have a mountain of reusable bags, but I still buy plastic bags. I bought a mini projector, but it doesn't have enough power. On Black Friday, I bought a mini projector for $100 instead of $250 to watch movies in the bedroom. It turned out that it was so weak that you couldn't see anything with the lights on. Now the projector is in a box, and we continue to watch movies on the TV. Apartment grill that set off fire alarm. Bought a $100 electric grill for Black Friday to cook steaks at home. The first night I started cooking, the entire hallway of the building filled with smoke, and the fire alarm went off. The neighbors were clearly not happy. I bought a fur coat on Black Friday, but there was no snow in the winter. I bought a fur coat on Black Friday for $400 instead of $1,200. It seemed like a great deal, and I imagined myself walking around in the snow feeling like the king of winter. But the weather was so mild all winter that I never needed the coat. So I spent the entire winter in a light jacket, and the expensive coat was left hanging in the closet with the tag. Now my wife laughs at me every time I try to tell her that this year I'll definitely need a coat. Robot for playing with a dog, but she smashed it to pieces. On Black Friday, I bought a dog play robot for $50 instead of $120, hoping it would keep our shepherd busy. On the first day, the dog treated the robot as an enemy and tore it apart in minutes. Now, there are only plastic fragments in that place. The smoothie blender that broke after a month. Bought a smoothie blender on Black Friday for $40 instead of $90, hoping to start each day with healthy drinks. But after a month, the motor burned out, and I had to go back to regular breakfasts. Smoothies weren't as frequent as I thought. I bought a bean-bag chair, but my cat turned it into a scratching post. On Black Friday, I bought a bean-bag chair for $70 instead of $200, hoping to relax in it after work. But our cat decided it was her new scratching post, and within a week the bag was full of holes. Now it lies on the balcony, and the cat is still the mistress of the situation. A smart bathroom mirror that now just hangs like a regular one. On Black Friday, I bought a mirror with backlighting and smart features for $150 instead of $400, thinking that I would listen to music and monitor the weather during my morning routine. But setting it up turned out to be so difficult that I abandoned the idea. Now the mirror just hangs on the wall, and all the smart features remain unused. I bought an inflatable sofa for a picnic, but couldn't inflate it. On Black Friday, I saw a great inflatable sofa for $25 instead of $70 and decided it would be perfect for camping. But when we arrived for the picnic, I couldn't inflate it properly. The wind was in the way, and every attempt was unsuccessful. In the end, we were sitting on the ground, and the sofa remained empty. I bought expensive sneakers on Black Friday but got the size wrong. Saw some cool sneakers for $60 instead of $150 and couldn't pass up the opportunity. Got my usual size, but it turned out they were too small. Now the sneakers are in the box, and I still can't find someone who fits them. I bought a portable speaker for picnics, but the sound was terrible. On Black Friday, I bought a portable speaker for $20 instead of $80 to enjoy music at picnics. But the sound was so bad that even the kids asked me to turn it off and go back to their favorite old speaker. Now the speaker is lying around and used. A luxury bedding set that turned out to be too big. On Black Friday, I bought luxury bedding for $150 instead of $400. The problem was that I didn't take into account the sizes. The bedding was one size bigger than our bed. Now it just sits on the shelf because it slides down and creates discomfort. Automatic toilet deodorizer that turned on at night. Saw an automatic air freshener on sale for $30 instead of $80 and thought it would make the bathroom better. But it would make noise at night, and the family would be alarmed by the loud hissing in the dark. Eventually, we had to turn it off and go back to the regular aerosol. An inflatable trampoline that was punctured by neighbors. On Black Friday, I bought an inflatable trampoline for my kids for $100 instead of $300. I installed it in the common yard, but the next day, the neighbors accidentally punctured it while cleaning. The trampoline can no longer be repaired, and the kids are upset. I bought a folding bike, but it broke on the first climb. On Black Friday, I saw a bike with a discount, $200 instead of $600, and bought it, thinking of riding it to work. On the first day, on a steep climb, the chain broke and the pedal broke. The repair cost almost a discount price, and now this bike is idle. An espresso machine that has never been turned on. On Black Friday, I bought an expensive espresso machine for $300 instead of $700, hoping to make coffee like a cafe. But it turned out to be too long and messy, so I just kept buying coffee from the coffee shop. Now the machine costs like expensive decor in the kitchen. LED shower that broke after first try. Bought an LED shower head on Black Friday to give my bathroom a fantastic look for only $20. But the first time I turned it on, the lights flickered and went out forever. Now I just have a regular shower and a bright reminder of my stupid purchase. Bought a pizza oven, but ended up going back to frozen pizza. Decided to become a pizza master and bought a small pizza oven for $150 instead of $350 on Black Friday. But it turned out that kneading the dough and making the sauces was too labor-intensive. A month later, I went back to frozen pizza and the oven is gathering dust in the closet. A laptop fan that didn't fit in my bag. Saw a discount on a powerful laptop fan for $25 instead of $60 and bought it to improve cooling. But when it came time to take the laptop to a cafe, I realized the fan was too bulky to fit in my bag. It ended up just sitting on a shelf without being used. The Wi-Fi-enabled electronic toothbrush that broke after a week. On Black Friday, I bought a smart toothbrush with Wi-Fi for $100 instead of $250. I thought it would track the quality of my brushing. But after a week, the toothbrush stopped working, and attempts to connect to Wi-Fi were unsuccessful. I went back to a regular toothbrush for $1. I bought a waterfall for my house, but it leaked onto the floor. On Black Friday, I bought a decorative waterfall for my home. $50 instead of $120 to add peace and relaxation. But on the first night, the waterfall started leaking and flooded the living room floor. I had to remove it forever, and the piece turned into stress from cleaning. The noise-canceling headset that turned kids off. Bought a noise-canceling headset for $80 instead of $200 on Black Friday so I could focus more on work. It blocked out sound, so I couldn't hear the kids running around and getting into mischief. My wife now forbids me to wear it when I'm home. I bought a table football but didn't take into account that the table wouldn't support the weight. Bought a $50 foosball table on Black Friday instead of $150 for a night out with friends. The problem was I set it up on a table that was too light. The first night, the table collapsed and the entire foosball table was smashed to pieces. I bought tent furniture, but we don't have a tent. On Black Friday, I saw a discount on folding chairs and a camping table for $100 instead of $300. I bought them thinking we were going to go camping, but it turned out we didn't even have a tent, and all that equipment was left lying around in the garage. A terry robe that is too hot for our climate. I bought a terry robe on Black Friday for $30 instead of $80, thinking I would wear it in the winter. But it turned out that our climate is too mild, and it is unbearably hot. Now the robe hangs in the closet, and every time it reminds me that the purchase was more of a fantasy about winter than a real need. I bought a washing machine at a discount, but it broke down every 2 weeks. Our old washing machine was over a decade old, and it finally broke. On Black Friday, I saw a new one for $250 instead of $600 and thought it would be a great investment for the family. But after 2 weeks, it started making weird noises, and a week later, it stopped spinning. Each time, I had to call a repairman, and each repair cost almost as much as I saved on the purchase. After a couple of months, I realized that the money I saved was spent on repairs, and the machine itself never worked properly. It's a reminder that things worth saving on definitely don't include appliances. I bought a water purifier, but the filters were expensive. Bought a water purifier for $50 instead of $150 on Black Friday, hoping to save on bottles. But it turned out the filters cost almost as much as the water itself, and they had to be changed every month. The purifier was too expensive to maintain. I bought a table fan, but its vibrations moved off the table. Bought a desk fan for $20 instead of $60 on Black Friday to keep cool. But every time I turned it on, it vibrated so much that it slowly walked across the table and once even fell over. I haven't used it since. I bought a LED mirror for my bathroom, but the light broke after a week. On Black Friday, I bought an LED mirror for $70 instead of $200 to add some ambience to my bathroom. But a week later the lights broke, and it turned out to cost more to replace than the mirror itself. Now I just have a regular mirror with broken bulbs. I bought an electric corkscrew, but it broke, leaving the cork in the bottle. On Black Friday, I bought an electric corkscrew for $30 instead of $80 to make opening wine bottles easier. On the second bottle, the corkscrew broke, leaving the cork halfway in the bottle. I had to use a regular corkscrew, and I don't use the smart version anymore.